Here, what's happening in Michigan, where within the next 24 hours, lawmakers are expected to deliver a crippling blow to organized labor by voting to turn Michigan into the country's 24th right-to-work state. Michigan, the birthplace of the UAW. Listen to this recent protest. Since last Thursday, protesters have been gathering here inside the Michigan State House and chanting, "Shame on you." The right-to-work measure is expected to pass, and that would mean workers in Michigan would not have to pay union dues. Protests have calmed just a bit today. They are expected to grow as this measure gets closer to passage. I want to bring in Cindy Estrada. She is the vice president of the once very powerful UAW, United Auto Workers. She joins me from Detroit. Cindy, welcome. First off here, I mean, all signs, everything I've read and can tell, it points to this being a done deal. And if you're the one, I understand, who's doing the negotiating with the Michigan governor, Governor Snyder, on behalf of 17,000 UAW members, what are you asking for here in these final hours?
I mean, part of what we were asking for is for the governor to do exactly what he said he was going to do from the beginning, is that he wants to reinvent Michigan, that he wants to have labor and community and management come together to focus on job training, to focus on education, and to focus on, creating good jobs. And however, this is the opposite of what the governor is now doing. He's deciding that he'd rather take on this divisive fight instead of spending time reinventing our state and making it the state that it could be and that we're on our way to making when we were able to come through the auto crisis, labor and management together.
So I
so
hear,
what we're hoping.
Yeah, what are you hoping for? I mean, I hear your frustration in your voice that the governor sort of changed his stance here on this. So here, moving forward, this thing's just about a done deal come tomorrow. What are you asking for here in the final hours?
In the final hours, we're still asking him to not sign the bill. But if we don't succeed in that, what it's going to be is it's going to be our campaign over the next 2 years to make sure that we don't have the kind of legislature that decided, instead of having transparency, instead of having people actually vote on this bill and have open debate, where we would have a legislature that's going to honor the citizens of the state and not try to ram stuff through a lame duck session, when in fact the legislature that's going to take place in 2013 are newly elected legislators who should be involved in this debate.
So is that what much of this is about?
These
protests, the visuals, seeing people chanting inside the State House, much of this is about 2 years from now, the election.
This is about 2 years from now, and this is about us demanding to have what we had through the auto crisis, that we're going to be better off in the state of Michigan if we work together, labor, management, community, that we can create real success, that we can reinvent, that we can have more efficient companies, but that's going to come from everyone being at the table. And unfortunately, our legislature and our governor in Michigan thinks that they're better off going it alone, and we just don't believe that that's accurate. It was proven through the auto crisis that when we work together, we can make real lasting change, and that's what we're going to be fighting for tomorrow and every day for the next 2 years until the next elections.
You know, Cindy, when we've been looking at the pictures, and let's throw some more pictures up of these protesters, these pro-union folks who've been out inside and outside of the State House. I mean, it looks to me that the turnout has not been, depending on the pictures, has not been entirely tremendous. Do you think that is a sign of the inevitable? Do you think people now are sort of pulling back?
No, I think that the turnout, we've had some members down there in some community, but what we were really focusing over the last 2 weeks is the governor wanted to come to the table and all of us work together to come up with a plan so that we wouldn't have this divisive fight. Unfortunately, the governor decided not to lead. We had a great plan on the table of where the legislature, where the community and labor and management could work together, but they decided instead that they wanted to attack democracy, that they wanted to attack working families, and that they wanted to pass this divisive bill without a debate by the citizens. And so the turnout isn't as high as it's going to be over, when you'll see tomorrow and through the next 2 years, because we weren't asking for that. We were staying at the table and negotiating because that's what we do. That's what we feel is the responsibility as citizens of Michigan, is to try and figure out how we can come up with a solution together. I mean, if we had this kind of leadership during the auto crisis, we wouldn't have had the recovery of the auto crisis, or of the autos.
We will follow up and see what happens tomorrow. Here we are talking Michigan, the president in your state today, in Detroit. Cindy Estrada, thank you so much, Vice President of UAW.
Thank you.
The music industry